Good morning, Diana. Tell us a little bit about your responsibilities with Citigroup.
Good morning to you also, Dietmar. At Citigroup, I'm the Chief Risk Officer for Citibank Consumer Group. I look after Latin America and Mexico. I love the region, and we've accomplished a lot in the 5 years that I've taken over the role.
Great. So you had a very interesting presentation yesterday about Riskopoly, and during which you focused on short-term and long-term risk management and the use of data therein. Can you give us some sound bites from that?
Absolutely. The point of the presentation was to make it fun, but the takeaway was really about data. You're absolutely right. So what I was trying to get across is that we can all grab data. We can have actuals that go back in a short term. We can have actual data that go back in a long term. The point is that history in itself can't be used to predict the future. But in saying that, it's so important to understand history for context. You can better understand your customer, your business, your process, the way customers are changing how they use your product, I think is what we were also trying to bring through yesterday in the presentation.
Do you observe misuses of data or poor uses of data?
Ignorant uses of data, I guess I would say, is grabbing data and using it for the wrong thing. A great example of that is maybe a central database group in New York will grab credit scores from all my countries across Latin America and Mexico and decide to chart them over time. Well, that would be great if we were using the same model and they were all scaled the same way. But since we aren't, you run into some very, very strange outcomes, and it's easily resolvable. You know, you talk to the person and say, no, you can't do that. Let's use scaled data. Let's transform the data so that it's all something more like a FICO-like score. So there's ways to get around it, but you need to have those conversations. You need to understand what it is you are studying in order to be able to predict it.
Yeah, the all-important part of contexting and getting it into the right information.
Absolutely, context is so key.
Now, you coined this term Riskopoly. Tell us a bit about how that came into being.
In a big conference like this, we're doing a lot of very technical sessions, and you can be lost after a little while in iterations of equation, which is why we're all here. You've got a lot of people who love the maths. But I thought it would just make it a little more fun, so we kind of put it into a more of a game board idea where we wanted to set up the consumer lending game board, take us through what are the obstacles in the game and what's the pot of gold at the end if you should do well, but also set it up so that neither short-term nor long-term, neither good nor bad trends actually win. The point is seeing them all, understanding them all, and using that context to make good predictions of the future.
Well, thank you so much. It was a really great presentation and lots of fun. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.